the IPO that everybody has been talking about for so long, and now it's finally opened for subscription. I'm talking about NTPC Green IPO that's open for subscription today, and the issue, which is an entirely a fresh issue of 10,000 crore rupees. This is the third largest IPO that you've seen for this year. Also, of course, this will be open up until November of 22nd, so you do have time to subscribe to this. It's already raised about 3960 odd crore rupees from the anchor investors as well. Already on day one so far, we've seen that the retail portion has already got sales through. Overall subscription stands at about 27% as well. As you all know, NTPC Green is a leading player of India's renewable energy sector. It's backed by NTPC. It contributes nearly 17% of India's total installed capacity and 24% of the total power generation of India as well. Now, to discuss with us some more key details about the IPO, the vision going forward, and the journey which has been so far, we are now going to be joined by the top management of the company to share with us those key details. Let's welcome on board Mr. Gurdeep Singh. He's the CMD of NTPC Green Energy. And we also have Mr. Jayakumar Srinivasan, Director of Finance of NTPC Green Energy. Warm welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Congratulations for setting and kick-starting this D Street journey. It's already started off on a smooth note for you. Let me kickstart by understanding with you, Mr. Singh. First, tell us about your journey so far for NTPC Green. Of course, NTPC is a marquee power player that all the investors of D Street are used to of tracking in terms of the stock prices for decades now. But NTPC Green is a newer baby. Tell us, how does one really differentiate between the two companies? Now, even NTPC shareholders who were subscribed to it will also get shares or probably get higher chances of allocation in this new IPO as well. So even they will be excited to know what else beyond NTPC will NTPC Green offer to them.
Thank you. So, Jessa, as you just mentioned about NTPC, that everybody, and you think of the power and the NTPC name instantly comes to everybody's mind.
Absolutely.
And similarly, going forward, think of the green power and the NTPC green journey will come to the everybody's mind. I think that's what our endeavor is. NTPC started the solar journey and the kind of signing the power purchase agreement for the renewable energy way back 10 years back. And over the period of time, we have developed a lot of core competency in our team. This company, NTPC Green Energy, was formed in 2022. And there were the assets which were transferred to NTPC Green. And in 2022, this capacity was hardly around 1450 megawatt. Today, we are having 3300 megawatt. The lot of work is going on in the different projects, totaling to around 11,000 to 16,000 megawatt. And by end of this financial year, that means the March 25, we will be having the capacity of 6,000 megawatt. By next March, this will be 11,000 megawatt, and by March 27, this will go up to 19,000 megawatt.
Okay.
And in addition to the solar and wind, we have also started working on the storage solution. So we have already called the bid for the 1500 megawatt hour of the battery storage, and we are also working on the next important pillar, which is going to be the future, which is called the green molecule. So we are working in all directions, and I'm sure that NTPC Green will emerge much on the similar lines what NTPC has done. As you rightly said, with the 17% we supply 25% of the power supply. Similarly, NTPC Green Energy with its kind of parental linkage will be far better than any other company in the country.
Okay, let's also get into the conversation, Mr. Srinivasan, right there. Do tell us, how are you going to be using the proceeds from the offering? It's a 10,000 crore rupee fresh issue. What you've also mentioned in your DRHP is that for the wholly owned subsidiary NTPC Renewable Energy, a sizable portion will be going towards, and some portion will also be allocated for the repayment of debt and then general corporate purposes. Could you, break it up for us and tell us out of the 10,000 crore rupees, which goes where?
Yeah, out of the 10,000 crores which we'll be raising through this, proceeds will go for investment into the JVs and subsidiaries. The subsidiary companies the mainstay would be the NTPC Renewable Energy Limited, where the chunk of the capital expenditure capacity addition is going to happen. There will be investing for predominantly for capital expenditure purpose, but for some time in the initial period, we will be retiring some of the debts which is there around close to 17,000 crores is there. Part of that will be retiring, and then subsequently as the capacity picks up, we will be we'll be raising more debt for fueling the capital expenditure.
Okay, so sir, could you tell us, like from that 17,000 crores, after you repay the debt, how much will still remain on the books?
Close to 7 to 8,000 would still remain in the books.
Okay, and debt to equity ratio, what is the expectation right now? It's at 2.2. How are you really looking to scale that down now?
Initially, it will be scaled down, but for future projects, all we will be implementing with a debt equity ratio of 80:20. Then that would
Okay.
average out subsequently.
Okay. Okay, got that. And for the renewable energy business, how much will be used? Can we say around 7,000 crore rupees will be used?
I think the entire proceeds will broadly go towards renewable
Okay.
energy only. It will be for
Okay.
capacity additions.
Okay, got that. Okay, let's also get in now, Mr. Singh, into the conversation. Now, you did talk to us about the expansion plans that you have, that by FY27 we could be expecting somewhere around 19,000 megawatts of capacity. Do tell us, how much of the current proceeds will be sufficient? How long will they be sufficient for you to be putting in into these expandings and your capacity expansion? By how many years will you be comfortable with this fundraise, and how soon will you then have to return to the street?
See, by March 27, as I just explained, it will be 19,000 megawatt, which will be commissioned. Along with that, we are also working and investing in the development of the new capacities.
Okay.
So as of now, we have already infused the equity of 7,500 crore in the company, and we have some retained earnings. So put together, it is 1,281 crore, which is
Okay.
there. So with the 10,000 crore, we will be almost comfortable to have almost around 19,000 plus the retained earning as we go along. So
Okay.
we don't have any issue to reach up to the 19,000 megawatt, because for the 19,000, the total investment requirement is about say 1 lakh crore. So what we are just planning, that we will be having the debt equity ratio of 4:1. So this is only the intermediary kind of step, so that if the refunds are available for some time, this will be a kind of for retiring in the kind of very short period. But our growth plan are much higher, and we will be requiring this lot of capital. And as you will be knowing that uh, our ability to raise the debt at a very
Yeah.
competitive rate is far better than many others, because our rating is very good. We have the rating as per AAA, and
Yes.
for the international rating, it is as it's capped at our the sovereign rating. So we are in a position to raise the debt at a very competitive rates, and that is going to be one of the differentiator. And
Okay.
our investment is also in the large size projects. So that is the two things
Yes.
put together makes it a much more, I think, a much more valuable company for us.
Right. So, Mr. Singh, could you also help us understand? Right now, you pointed out you're big on solar and on wind, and you are now going to be going forward to the battery storage and then going to be expanding into the green cell as well. Segment wise, what is the contribution that you get from solar and wind right now into your overall top line? Going forward, how is the segment contribution in terms of revenue going to be spread across?
See, as far as this 19,000 megawatt by March 27 is concerned, there will be approximately 3,000 megawatt from the wind and 16,000 from the solar. And going forward, what we envisage is that we will be having almost 90% in the solar and 10% in the wind. But along with the solar, there will be enough potential for having the storage capacity with that. So there will be appreciable kind of investment which will be required, which is at present we have not really given the figures as of now. And And down the line, about 3 to 4 years, we will have to start investing into the green molecule also, which we are developing at present, our hydrogen hub, for which we have already acquired the land, and it's
Yes.
already work is for the developmental work is going on that.
So, sir,
So there is a huge effort.
this land purchase also is in Rajasthan, since most of your projects right
No,
now
no, no.
are in. Okay.
This green hub, hydrogen hub, is in near to Visakhapatnam,
Okay.
which is place called Pudimadka. So this is 1200 acre, which is a coastal location.
Okay, so
So
this
this
gives
will
you
be
the
helpful for export.
geographical edge also, because right now the concentration was
Absolutely,
there in Rajasthan and now you're going down south also with this expansion. Okay, understood.
absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Srinivasan, could you also help us as far as your margins are concerned? Where are they at currently? What is the outlook there? What is the band on the margins that you could expect, especially with the expansion plans that you have till March of FY27? How do we see margins growing over the next 3 years, sir?
No, as far as based on this half year results which we have just published, I can say that it's a very, very comfortable margin. We have been consistently maintaining a EBITDA margin of close to 90%. And the profit margin is also healthy. We have a 16.2% margin. And with this capacity addition envisaged, which is quite steep from every in the first year, this year we are going to commission around 3 gigawatt, next year 5 gigawatts, and thereafter it will be an average of 7 to 8 gigawatt. So you can expect a commensurate growth in the revenue and profitability with this kind of a PAT margin. And with the capacity addition, the economy of scale will also set in. And then, and the other thing which CMD was mentioning is we have an edge over the cost of financing.
Yes,
We are
yes.
also going to raise a significant amount through foreign currency borrowing, which will give us an edge and competitiveness, which will translate into a better bottom line for the future.
Okay. Mr. Singh, could you help us understand as far as your growth projections are concerned? So far, we've actually seen substantial growth both on top line and bottom line on a 3-year CAGR basis. Your PAT on a CAGR growth has been upwards of 90% from FY22 to FY24. Your revenue CAGR growth has been reported upwards of 47%. Will this be sustainable given the kind of expansions that you're going to be doing? And what is a realistic expectation that we can have for FY25, sir?
See, as was explained, I think there is this is the EBITDA of around 87 to 90%, and there is no reason that going forward it should be becoming better rather than becoming worse because of the economy of scale. And let me say here that our all investment decisions are only made after the thorough analysis and making sure that everything is put in place before then taking the investment decision. So you can assume that similar kind of trajectory over the next period and going up to the 2032, which is likely to be achieved by 2030 itself, reaching to around 60 gigawatt. So there is
Yes.
going to be there is going to be a good revenue and good cash flow, and we will be able to grow at a kind of similar trajectory what we are just explaining as of now.
Wonderful. Mr. Srinivasan, how about your relationships with the off-takers and the suppliers? I understand there is a long-standing relationship, upwards of 10 years and even 20-25 years in some cases as well with some of your partners. How does it stand right now? Do you think some of those partnerships are getting over anytime soon? How are you really looking forward to increasing the number of clients that you will be dependent on for your supplies also?
Yes, we have currently at present 17 different off-takers as far as our renewable business is concerned. But as you rightly said, that as a parent, NTPC, we have a long-standing relationship that stretches on for 50 years, for a 5-decade
Okay.
relationship with almost every state. We have a presence in every state except Lakshadweep because there is no connectivity over there. So the relationship is very deep. And as far as the recovery is concerned, it has been quite impeccable, at least for NTPC, given the latest framework of LPS mechanism and the other things, and also the health of the discoms. We don't see any major problem on the recovery sides, and it has been quite robust.
Okay. Also, could you give us a sense on post the IPO, what will be the shareholding pattern? How much will NTPC continue to hold, and what will be the public float?
Post this IPO, NTPC will be holding around 89 to 90%. That is based on whatever is the pricing and the target. And of course, as CMD was explaining, 7,500 of equity is already available. We have 8,000 crore plus of net worth. And with this, we should be able to see through for next 2 to 3 years capacity addition. However, as we ramp up the capacity further, we'll have to come back to the market to raise further equity. That we'll be doing it in a very calibrated way, depending on the requirement. And anyway, we have to in the next 3 years, we have to come to 25% dilution as per the SEBI guidance,
Yes.
which will do it sparingly and timing it appropriately.
Okay. I'll come to you, Mr. Singh, for the last couple of questions. And this will be one on the concerns that some of the analysts and brokerage houses have brought up, and that is on the aggressive valuations right now, which puts you right ahead of the competition by a few notches. What is the sense that you would want to part to all the investors, prospective shareholders, as well as our viewers as well, when it comes to valuation part? And of course, the other part is on competition. We've already heard so many marquee private players also start to talk about renewable energy in a big fashion. Of course, you are one of those companies which has already been in this space and in this business from a long time. So you have that edge. But with more private players entering, how is the competitive scenario going to be developing?
See, I think let me then address the last thing first.
Okay.
We are only in the power generation. There are different business houses or the corporates which have been kind of taking up whenever the opportunities are there. So we have been in the power sector and we will remain in this power and energy sector. So that is a clarity what we have, and that is our core competency. So we can say with pride that the team what we are having is having the whole kind of competencies related with the power sector, whether it is design, whether it is engineering, whether it is inspection, construction, operation, commercial, you name it, and we have the expertise and we give the consultancy also to the others. So I don't want to say more than that. That we are not afraid of any of the competition on this side. Let me just share with you the another kind of testimony on this, that our CUF, which is the current capacity utilization factor for our recently commissioned projects, we have been able to achieve 29 to 30% of the CUF, which used to be almost 22, 23% some time back. And on an average, it will be hovering around 24, 25%. And that is possible because of our competency within the team. And as we just mentioned, that we have a very good rating and backed by a very strong balance sheet of the parent organization. So there is no reason that we should be really facing a kind of threat from any of the other kind of. But at the same time, I think the country needs a large capacity for that, and there should be a space for everyone. Our plan of the 60 gigawatt, as I said, we should be able to meet by 2030 itself rather than 2032, and thereafter, this is similar kind of growth will maintain. And this will start going towards the as we just mentioned about the storage, which will be able to supply the let's say solar power through the storage system, which is not only battery, but it can be a pump storage also, so that when the sun is not shining, means the off solar hours also will be able to supply the renewable energy. And going forward, further this green molecules, which is, as we just mentioned, green methanol or kind of going up to the sustainable aviation fuel. Let me hurriedly then tell here also that we have done a couple of experiments with the green hydrogen. That is, one is in the Leh Ladakh, what you just mentioning, that in case of Leh Ladakh, we are producing hydrogen, and we have already running 2 buses fueled by the hydrogen. So which is going going to help decarbonization there, but also it will avoid taking the fossil fuel all the way, first import, then refine, and then taking up to the up to the Himalayas. And at our Vindhyachal project, we have commissioned our 10 ton per day green methanol plant, which is capturing the carbon dioxide from the stack and utilizing the hydrogen produced from the renewable energy. You can have the green methanol. So these are already we have started getting the competency into these areas, and our hydrogen hub will be able to provide us excellent opportunities. We are in a discussion with the various players into this who can use, whether it's a marine or whether it's going to be tomorrow on the aviation side.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
seeing enough
wonderful.
opportunities which are going to be there in the space.
Okay, and the valuation part, sir?
On the valuation side, we had been discussing this with the across the stakeholders, and let me share with you that we had a meeting with more than hundreds and a kind of institutes, and what had come out in a kind of the number. In fact, we have given some kind of relaxation to that, so that there is a incentive for the early investors, and they should always cherish and they should be able to participate into this growth area going forward.
Okay, wonderful speaking to both
Thank
of
you.
you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Singh and
Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Srinivasan, for being with us.
Thank you.
And
Thank
all the
you.
very best to you for the IPO as well as for the listing journey. We will see you around the quarterly results every quarter now. Looking forward to having more interactions with both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.